What is up, y'all? What is up? What is up? What is up? It feels good to be back. I hope y'all are doing good. For y'all who don't know me, my name is mxkhiiiii. For y'all that do know me, welcome back. Let's get into this video. But I really hope y'all are doing good today. It feels good to be back on camera and having a conversation with y'all. But today, we're going to be talking about my experience so far, or just my experience in reprogramming my mind, as well as my experience with overcoming triggers. And all I mean by that is just my experience of moving through my triggers that are showing me what needs to be healed. So to start off, when did I start reprogramming? Or I guess I'll start when I started to become aware of when I wanted to reprogram my mind. And all reprogramming is, okay. I love giving y'all definitions, so I'm gonna give y'all some definitions. Hold on. So what is it to reprogram the mind? Let me see. All right. So to reprogram the mind means intentionally changing ingrained thought patterns, beliefs, and behaviors by actively replacing negative or limiting mindsets with more positive and empowering ones, often through techniques like affirmations, visualization, and meditation, essentially rewiring the brain to create new habits of thinking and acting. And yeah, some key points it talks about neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity. Maybe that's how you say it, I think. But it talks about that. It talks about the subconscious mind, positive affirmations, and visualization as it was in the definition. So now that we have the definition, I became aware of this. I think I was watching like a podcast, and I was watching Jay Shetty. I was either watching Jay Shetty or it's another podcast. I think it's called Know Thyself. And it was one with Joe Dispenza, and I think it was someone else, but I don't know his name. Just from listening and hearing and researching, doing my own thing, I just became more aware of how the brain is, and how not only what we do affects our brain, I guess, in the sense of like creating patterns and habits like the definition had said, but using that knowledge of how to, I'm a little confused because the definition says intentionally changing ingrained thought patterns, beliefs, and behaviors by actively replacing negative or limiting mindsets with more positive, empowering ones. So once I realized that I can have the ability to change how I'm thinking, changing my limiting beliefs, changing how I view things, changing whatever it was, if I was dealing with feeling, or if I'm feeling like I'm lacking something, to know that I am abundant, to change those beliefs. And so the start was just becoming aware of it. And I don't know exactly what it was that I started with, but I just know it was things that was needing healing, that was needing my attention to, and I just started from there. And I like how this definition says, if anyone out there is trying to reprogram your mind, or change your beliefs, and realize limiting beliefs, patterns, negative thoughts, etc., it starts with, as this definition says, intentionally, really being intentional about changing these thoughts, patterns, etc., by doing things that will replace it. For example, if you feel that you lack, I know the way I approached it, and this is just my way, I'm sure there's many ways, but I approached it by really doing the shadow work, and then also depending on how deep it is, I'm thinking, doing the shadow work, but also being aware of this belief and then replacing it with truth. So, for example, if the belief is, "Oh, I am lacking," or "Oh, I will never be able to get this certain type of this amount of money, this car, whatever it is," the opposite would be knowing that you are abundant. And through my experience of whether it was whatever it was I was battling, it did not come that easy. Not saying that it can't, but some things were harder than other things. And I just want to say that it took time and it took repetition. It took me to also know, not just to say this, but to know that I am abundant, to know that I am worthy, to know whatever it is, to know that, to be it, to walk it, to believe it. And until I understood that too, it was just me working through to understand that. And it was also once I understood that, it became easier. Not to say that I don't deal with having to remind myself, but it is a different relationship. It is a different way that I am approaching limiting beliefs, when I'm approaching changing my beliefs, changing thought patterns. It's more, I can say for me, it's more awareness, is seeing what this is and give in the times that I'm aware, to work on giving myself grace, or work on being kind and working through it, whatever I need to do to work through it, to then, I guess, just replace it. And with reprogramming the brain, I am not a neuroscientist. I am not licensed in no way. This is just my experience, but I will say it works. I think it works because just from what I've done to change certain beliefs, certain thoughts, certain patterns, it is working. Just simply from being intentional, doing things that can reverse and bring a better thought pattern, a better belief into me, and to know it. I feel like that is something important, an important part of it. Like, you can, or at least for me, from my experience, when I first started realizing it, I wrote down a whole bunch of affirmations and wants and needs, but I didn't believe it. I wanted it, but I didn't believe it. And once I started to just believe, oh yeah, I am worthy. Oh yeah, my past does not affect me. And so on and so on. That is when I felt like it started working. And I do want to say there's nothing wrong with writing down your wants, writing down your needs. But I'm just saying too that from my experience, I feel like what also helped me was believing that I can achieve such and such and do whatever it is that I'm wanting to do, live however I'm wanting to live, be how I'm wanting to be. And just through, I guess, just reprogramming the mind, just really, I think one main thing is being in the situation that you're trying to grow out of and responding to it differently. And I got that from, I believe, Joe Dispenza, but responding to your thoughts differently, that is from Joe Dispenza. Yeah. When the same thing shows up and just responding differently, meaning I don't know, say you're triggered by, I'm gonna just go back to lack. Say you are thinking that you are lacking, but respond to it different, meaning you understand that you are abundant. But also understanding where this is coming from, but to knowing no, you're abundant. Nothing is stopping you from accomplishing anything. I feel like just constantly reminding yourself, oh no, you know what? I can do this. I'm abundant. And so, yeah, I feel like that is my experience with rewiring my brain, being that it is a journey. it takes time, it takes patience, and that was just for me. Some things felt like they were longer than others. There's still some things that I'm still rewiring because it's been years of me believing, doing certain things, and now I'm coming out of that by doing things with intent to release, to rewire, to bring a new positive idea, thought into my mind. And so, yeah, just be patient with yourself if you are going through this. Give yourself grace, be kind to yourself, know that you can do it. And as far as with my triggers, how can I say it? I guess just with being triggered, when my triggers show up, being triggered and going through that, I think the best thing that helped me was awareness. I can say like the best thing that helped me was awareness, because I understood where this was coming from. Now, I will say there was times where I did have awareness on what was going on, but it just felt so real. Like, I believe a trigger is you reliving the past. Let me search this up for y'all, because I just want y'all to have the definitions. Trigger meaning. Oh. Okay. I got it. My bad. Okay, so it says to be triggered means to experience a strong, often negative emotional reaction due to something that reminds you of a past traumatic experience, causing a sudden and intense response like anxiety, anger, or sadness, etc. It's when a specific stimulus acts as a trigger to bring up past emotional distress. So with that, moving through my triggers, I will say in the beginning, and even till now, even currently, it is still hard sometimes. But like I said, certain things are harder than others. And I feel like, talking about the triggers that were hard to get through, and what I mean by hard is just it was really heavy. I was still feeling all those feelings from the past, and moving through that, just being kind to yourself, giving yourself grace, pausing. Really, I feel like pausing and taking a step back, like, okay, you know what, I see this is upsetting me, or this is how I'm feeling, and just take time to step back. And if you can't, because I feel like I've been in a few situations where like I'm doing something, but like the trigger is coming up. If you can communicate with someone, communicate with them. If you can talk to someone, talk to them. Or if it's just you, breathe, journal, do something. I feel like doing something to release the energy as far as like the emotional part in a healthy way can help, based on just what I've done, but also mentally, once I was able to, I guess physically that is doing something. I mean, it is helping you mentally by releasing the emotion in a healthy way, but also just mentally. I think once I understood, just having a dang, I don't know the word. I guess like having awareness with the emotion, that mentally helped as well. And knowing how to go about that, meaning that, okay, I see my trigger and this is coming from the past, and being able to separate yourself from that, I think helps a lot too. And I will say and acknowledge that I know that it is that is hard sometimes, because the trigger just feels so real. But at the same time, I just want to say I feel that helps being aware, and just really being aware and not believing the trigger, if that makes sense. Meaning that if the trigger is coming up, of course, don't just stay there. If this is the person that did this and they're triggering you, I'm get out of there, be safe, and make sure you're okay. But in the sense, I'm just speaking in the case where you're triggered and nothing's going on and everything is all right, and it's the mind that is tricking you. I feel awareness really helps. Awareness on just having that awareness, like, okay, I see what's going on. This is my trigger. This is what had happened to me in the past. And this situation is triggering me because of whatever it is. Maybe it feels too good to be true and it's triggering a fear and of trust or whatever it may be. And with that awareness, I feel it really helps to just recognize that, oh, okay, this is my trigger. This is not what's really going on. Because if it seems safe and everything is okay, I feel like the trigger can mentally bring you back. Or it in those times, it not necessarily brought me back, but put me in that place where I felt like, okay, like, let me get myself back into motion. Let me do what I need to do. And yeah, in those cases where it did, I guess, take me back, and I don't want to say failed or I'll say like struggled with, or just felt the intensity of being triggered. Still just doing different things to help me calm myself back, calm and bring myself back into a calm space. But in the case where you are triggered, I'm hoping this is making sense. Pause, do something to help you release those emotions. If you are safe and there's nothing going on and it's a trigger coming up, I just want to say, I think communication helps. Journaling, taking time with yourself to understand why you're triggered and what's going on, to then figure it out. And that, as far as what I'm saying, that is what I've done with reprogramming my mind and moving through my triggers. Knowing, as going more into the triggers, knowing that having awareness and seeing where this is coming from. And I just want to say that different triggers may be different from each different triggers may be different from each other because of the different, past wounds, memories, scenarios that they are coming from. So I just want to say that, and say to be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, but to also be intentional. And I feel to be intentional to, if you are wanting to reprogram your mind and move through your triggers, try to bring awareness to what's going on inside and doing something to release that in a healthy way that will help you. And healthy for me may be different from healthy for you. I'm just giving out what I feel, but you are not limited to what I'm saying. But yeah, I hope this video helps. If you are in the midst of reprogramming your mind, if you are going through learning how to move through your triggers, I will say, if you need professional help, seek professional help. I know everyone has different stuff going on, but I know BetterHelp I've heard is something affordable. I know there's other free apps and things, I believe. I've been seeing a commercial of this one app that is for younger adults and teens, I believe. But yes, I'll just recommend Google and recommend Google for y'all who are wanting help. If y'all are wanting professional help, seek it. I am not licensed at all. I'm just giving my take on what I've been through, and what I've done to get through it. But also, I'll say Subliminals. If anyone wants to try it, I'll say Subliminals. And at first, I wouldn't say, Yeah, I'll say I was skeptical. Not that it wouldn't work, but basically, I think subliminals are, it's usually like music, and then it is sped up, I believe, sped up affirmations. I may be wrong on that, so please search up. But I think that is what it is. It's like a sped up affirmation that we cannot hear, but our subconscious can hear. And so I was only skeptical because I didn't know like what they were saying. But use your best judgment, discern, find a good account that can help with that you feel is good. And I feel like subliminals really help. I feel like subliminals help, and yeah, you could find some that even say it out loud, and then you could just go to sleep to hearing affirmations on maybe if it's self-esteem, like, oh, I am worthy, I can do this, I'm that. But yeah, subliminals, being intentional, learning from others. I feel like we have a lot of tools that can help, or I feel like a good thing with just the online access is it is right there. And so like search up on YouTube how to move through my triggers, how to reprogram the mind, and it will be a bunch of good information. And as it helped me, I'm sure it can help you. But with that, I hope this video helps. If anyone is out there trying to reprogram their mind, trying to move through their triggers, trying to just have a different and better mindset, I hope this video helps. Keep going. And I hope those resources helped. All my resources that I got was from YouTube, or I was reading. And yeah, from reading different books, whatever you feel is right based on your intuition and your discernment. And of course, seeking professional help as well, and knowing what you're looking at and making sure it is correct and right for you. But yeah, with that, I am out. My name is mxkhiiiii. For those who don't know me, thank you for watching this video. I hope y'all have a good day, night, year, month. It's February 1st. And also, for those who do know me and have been watching my videos, thank you. I will see y'all in the next video, and I'm out.